than $3.5 million in the hole. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of misusing money, and today
with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting, I do not have it.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Mm,
What is that?
no, sir.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
You're not going to answer how taxpayer dollars are being spent? That seems odd.
I just answered it. What do you mean? I just answered your question.
You said
Federal investigators have significantly ramped up their scrutiny of Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township, as new evidence emerges linking her to serious allegations of money laundering and the misappropriation of public funds. This marks a critical juncture in the ongoing controversy surrounding Henyard's administration. In April 2024, FBI agents served subpoenas at Thornton Township Hall, requesting a comprehensive range of financial and business records from Henyard's various ventures, including her restaurant, property management company, political action committee, and a charity operating under her name. The subpoenas also sought extensive documents from the township itself, covering key areas such as budget reports, payroll data, credit card expenditures, expense reimbursements, security allocations, and vehicle usage. The breadth of these requests points to a large-scale federal investigation into both Henyard's personal dealings and her administration's operations. Henyard has already faced numerous accusations of using taxpayer funds for personal enrichment, a claim that has fueled public outcry. One of the most egregious examples centers on the misuse of public resources to fund a police security detail and pay for lavish personal trips. Perhaps the most controversial incident involves an event called A Taste of Thornton Township, which cost the township a staggering $85,000. Despite the considerable expenditure, the event, featuring performances by R&B artist Keith Wyatt and rapper Jay Holiday, suffered from a low turnout, drawing widespread criticism for its extravagant nature given the poor attendance. Many critics question the justification for such a costly event, particularly at a time when the township was facing financial difficulties. In addition to this, Henyard faces allegations that she used public funds for personal luxuries, including financing expensive vacations and other personal expenses using taxpayer money. Another significant area of concern is her handling of liquor licenses for local businesses. Several businesses have accused Henyard of intentionally delaying liquor license approvals, resulting in legal action against her. In one notable case, Henyard was even ruled in contempt of court for failing to comply with a legal order related to the delayed liquor licenses. These accusations have only intensified the scrutiny of Henyard's administration, raising doubts about her leadership and whether she has misused her authority for personal and political gain. The investigation into Henyard has also extended to her close associates, with subpoenas targeting the records of key township employees. This includes Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman, as well as her boyfriend, who oversees the township's youth violence prevention program. The inclusion of these individuals in the subpoenas suggests that investigators suspect Henyard may have involved her inner circle in the alleged misuse of public funds. The far-reaching scope of the subpoenas highlights the seriousness of the investigation and raises the possibility that even more troubling revelations will surface as it continues. As federal authorities continue to gather evidence, the case against Henyard is becoming increasingly complex. The investigation is not only focused on Henyard's personal conduct, but also on the operations of the various businesses and organizations connected to her. Depending on the strength of the evidence, Henyard could face significant legal repercussions, including the potential for criminal charges that may result in imprisonment.
Stop playing these silly games, board of trustees, and putting people's lives in jail.
Anything after this?
I'm gonna remember this, because at the end of the day, I told you, you guys don't.
In a dramatic turn of events, federal charges have been brought against Lee Lacey, the deputy police chief and a longtime ally of Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, further intensifying the already tumultuous crisis engulfing her administration. Lacey, who has been a loyal supporter of Henyard since her election in 2021, now faces an indictment on charges of bankruptcy fraud. The accusations allege that Lacey hid assets and income to evade settling a previous lawsuit, as well as deceive creditors in the process. while Lacey's legal team denies the charges, asserting that they are part of a coordinated effort to force him to turn against Henyard. The indictment has cast a dark cloud over the mayor's embattled administration. The charges against Lacey mark a significant escalation in the ongoing scandal surrounding Henyard, which has been marred by increasing controversy, accusations of corruption, and ethical violations. As one of Henyard's most influential and trusted figures, Lacey's legal troubles add another layer of pressure to a leadership already under fire. His legal battle places him squarely in the eye of the storm, further jeopardizing Henyard's political future. The scrutiny surrounding Henyard's management of public funds has intensified in recent months, and the indictment of Lacey only deepens the crisis she faces. Just days before the indictment, Lacey was placed on administrative leave by the Dalton City trustees, signaling growing frustration with Henyard's leadership within the city's political establishment. This decision marks a fracture in the once solid political alliance between Henyard and the city's governing body. Despite the leave order, Lacey reportedly defied the trustees by continuing to show up for work, raising questions about his intentions. Some observers speculate that Lacey may be positioning himself as a key figure in exposing further corruption within Henyard's administration. His defiance has fueled speculation that he might be preparing to cooperate with federal investigators, potentially providing critical testimony that could unravel much of the support Henyard has relied on during her time in office. As the investigation into Lacey's actions progresses, growing speculation suggests that he may possess crucial evidence that could significantly damage Henyard's already tarnished political career. With his insider knowledge and close ties to the mayor, Lacey could provide testimony about the alleged misuse of public funds and other improprieties within Henyard's administration. If Lacey cooperates with federal investigators, his testimony could deliver a devastating blow to Henyard's credibility and validate many of the accusations leveled against her. The possibility of Lacey's cooperation has injected a new element of uncertainty into the ongoing investigation, raising the stakes for Henyard's political survival. The indictment of Lacey, combined with the potential for his cooperation with authorities, has once again thrust Henyard's administration into the public spotlight. Calls for accountability are growing louder, and many are now demanding an independent investigation into the alleged misuse of taxpayer money for personal gain. Losing a key ally like Lacey, who has long been seen as a pillar of Henyard's administration, has further fueled public skepticism about her leadership and contributed to widening divisions within her political base. With her political future hanging in the balance, Henyard's ability to hold on to power is increasingly in doubt. For Henyard, Lacey's indictment represents a critical juncture in her political career. Lacey's steadfast loyalty to Henyard had previously bolstered her position, but now his legal troubles threaten to unravel much of the support she has built since taking office. The loss of Lacey, combined with the ongoing scrutiny of her financial management and handling of public funds, weakens Henyard's already fragile position. With mounting legal challenges and growing public pressure, Henyard's ability to weather this storm and maintain control of her administration seems increasingly uncertain. The growing calls for transparency and accountability are further intensifying the pressure on Henyard. As the investigation into Lacey's alleged fraud continues, many are questioning whether Henyard will be able to navigate the fallout from these legal and political challenges. Lacey's potential role in exposing corruption within the administration could serve as a tipping point, leading to further revelations about the misuse of public resources and illegal activities. If Lacey were to provide critical information, it could mark the beginning of the end for Henyard's time in office. As the investigation continues to unfold, all eyes are on Lacey and his next steps. His decision to cooperate, or not, with federal authorities could have a profound impact on the political landscape in Dalton and ultimately determine the fate of Henyard's administration. What was once considered a strong political alliance now seems to be on the brink of collapse, with the stakes higher than ever for both Lacey and Henyard. With federal charges against Lacey now in play, the pressure on Henyard to address the mounting accusations against her has only intensified. The possibility that Lacey may cooperate with investigators and provide crucial testimony has added a new layer of intrigue to the situation. Should he choose to turn against Henyard and expose further corruption, it could completely dismantle her political base and tarnish her legacy. For now, Lacey's future and Henyard's remain uncertain, with their fates intricately tied to the ongoing federal investigation. As this high-stakes drama continues to unfold, the political establishment in Dalton and the public at large will be watching closely to see whether justice will prevail and whether Henyard can survive the mounting legal and political challenges threatening her administration. Amidst escalating legal and political turmoil, Lee Lacey, the deputy police chief, has stood firmly by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, despite mounting pressure from all directions. Lacey's legal team has strongly defended him, arguing that the federal investigation targeting him is part of a larger effort to undermine Henyard's leadership. According to Lacey's defense, investigators have been pressuring various individuals in the village to turn against the mayor, but Lacey, like a loyal protector, has remained steadfast in his support, refusing to buckle. However, recent developments suggest that federal authorities may have gathered key evidence linking Henyard to serious misconduct, raising the stakes and casting doubt on the integrity of her administration. The controversy began following the sudden death of former Mayor Frank Zuro, which left the Board of Trustees with the difficult task of selecting a successor. Under state law, they had only 60 days to make a decision. As the deadline approached, many expected a seasoned trustee like Joyce Washington or Jerry Jones to take the helm, with other potential candidates like Township Assessor Cass Sanderston also in the mix. However, in a dramatic turn, trustee Christopher G. Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard just minutes before the deadline. Henyard had applied for the position earlier, but her name had not been seriously considered until the last moment. When she was sworn in, Henyard's first meeting seemed uneventful, with promises of honesty and responsibility. Gonzalez, who had nominated her, hoped the board would avoid a public election, but tensions simmered beneath the surface. Soon after taking office, Henyard's relationship with members of the previous administration soured, leading to growing rumors of her resentment toward individuals loyal to the late Mayor Zuro. These tensions boiled over when Henyard's first significant move was to fire Jessica Jones, with trustee Jerry Jones leading the motion. The decision passed unanimously, even with Gonzalez's support, signaling the beginning of a series of controversial actions that would spark political turmoil. Henyard's next target was Stephanie Weidman, a longtime employee who had been promoted by Zuro. Henyard informed Weidman she was no longer part of the team, stripping her of her responsibilities. This was just the beginning of Weidman's exclusion from Henyard's administration, leaving her feeling sidelined after years of dedicated service. As Henyard's leadership grew more contentious, rumors spread of her harassment of individuals connected to the former mayor's administration. One of the most troubling incidents involved Township Clerk Estes Pender, who allegedly locked herself in her office and scattered sensitive documents, including medical records and social security numbers, across public spaces. This breach of privacy ignited public outrage, particularly over the mishandling of personal data. The public trust in Henyard's administration began to erode as a result. The controversies surrounding Henyard didn't stop there. Her firing of several employees sparked a series of lawsuits, further damaging her reputation. Sandra Tracy, a former human resources manager, filed a lawsuit claiming wrongful termination and retaliation after taking medical leave for surgery. Tracy alleged she was demoted and denied access to her office upon returning to work, before ultimately being dismissed. Another lawsuit came from Karen Johnson, a former administrative assistant in the Public Works Department, who claimed she was fired for refusing to work on Henyard's recall campaign during business hours. These legal battles painted a troubling picture of Henyard's administration, one where dissent was reportedly punished and loyalty was rewarded, fostering a toxic work environment. The growing number of lawsuits highlighted concerns about Henyard's leadership style and potential abuse of power. Adding fuel to the fire, it was revealed that Henyard and her associates had racked up over $122,000 in travel expenses. This discovery further fueled suspicions of misuse of taxpayer funds for personal and political gain. Critics were particularly outraged, given the township's financial struggles, questioning Henyard's priorities. Investigations into her spending revealed even more troubling details. Henyard's administration had charged $133,000 at the Marriott Marquis in New York City and nearly $1 million at the Four Seasons in Atlanta. Such lavish expenditures seem grossly out of place in a township grappling with debt and financial strain. Further scrutiny uncovered inflated salaries within Henyard's administration, with some individuals reportedly receiving up to $900,000 over 2 years, far exceeding typical compensation for similar roles. These financial irregularities, coupled with suspicions of corruption and possible quid pro quo arrangements, deepen public concerns. One of the most alarming accusations against Henyard was the alleged misuse of Dalton police officers as her personal security detail. Critics argue that using taxpayer-funded officers for personal protection during a time of strained law enforcement resources was a reckless abuse of public funds. The FBI soon launched an investigation into Henyard's administration, focusing on potential financial misconduct and abuse of power. In addition, former Chicago mayor and federal prosecutor Lori Lightfoot led a separate investigation that uncovered even more troubling financial issues. Lightfoot's findings revealed that Dalton was facing over $3.5 million in debt, with spending spiraling out of control under Henyard's leadership. Despite these findings, Henyard continued to present herself as a self-proclaimed super mayor, showing little concern for the financial strain her decisions were placing on the village. As the investigations unfolded, it became increasingly unclear how Henyard's political future would play out. With legal and financial challenges mounting, many wondered whether Lee Lacy, her loyal deputy, would continue to support her or whether he would eventually turn against her in light of the growing evidence of corruption and misconduct. The drama surrounding Henyard's administration kept the public on edge, with every new revelation raising the stakes for both Henyard and her loyal ally. The unfolding legal and financial crises have intensified the pressure on Henyard to account for her actions. As more details emerge, the calls for accountability grow louder, with many questioning how much longer Henyard can hold on to power. Will Lacy remain loyal, or will he turn against her in the face of mounting scandal? The outcome of this political saga remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The future of Henyard's administration is now hanging by a thread. As the investigation continues, the stakes for Henyard, Lacy, and the future of Dalton grow higher with each passing day.